Good morning, everybody. Heather Coleman here. I am an intuitive medium, telepathic medium. I also see auras. I can see chakras. How do I read? People ask me that a lot. Clairsentience. Being able to sense emotions, the emotional truth of situations, which I think is going to come up a lot in today's reading. So I actually ended up running this at a different time than originally planned. I had some appointments unexpectedly cancel. So interestingly enough, we're not working from a tarot deck today. I channeled the cards. Yeah, literally. These are the cards that came through. And for those of you that might want to write these down, let me see. Okay. I don't know why the Wi-Fi is weird. I'm going to hold the phone instead. Maybe it'll help. Five of Pentacles reversed. We got the Eight of Cups, Justice, Five of Cups, and Seven of Earth. Okay. So what does this really add up to? Well, the anchor card is the Star. We have as above, so below, meaning that what is currently manifest on the outside is a result of what's been on the inside. However, that could be in the past, and I think that's what's happening with this reading. Meaning, I feel like some of you have been waiting a long time for your ship to come in. Maybe you've been feeling stuck for a very long time. Sometimes the manifestation process just takes longer than we would like. So Spirit is really encouraging you this week to look at the signs that your outside circumstances are shifting. With the Star card, we often have this energy of as above, so below. So what's happening below the surface with you is going to become manifest on what is above, like on the outside of you, what people see. And by the way, one of the reasons I became psychic was I often, when I was young, was very surprised, disappointed, upset, and puzzled by the things people would do. And I didn't want to keep living my life reactively. So if this resonates with you, this could be a reason that you've become psychic. And maybe you've wondered why your gifts have begun to open. That was one of the reasons my gifts began to really open up and blossom when I was in my early 30s. Well, actually late 20s, but it really sped up when I was in my early to mid 30s. So, again, as above, so below. Now, don't beat yourself up if you were born into a toxic family. That was your soul's choice. And there's a lot of reasons you may have chosen a toxic family. You're a cycle breaker. Even if you're struggling at all with anything like I've been, which is feeling like I failed to break the cycle, maybe you haven't failed. Sometimes things have to get a lot more messy before they clean up. That's a strong message. Sometimes things have to get a lot more messy before they clean up. So I think that's what we really have here on the Star card. And okay, so I like the fact that on our Five of Pentacles, that card is reversed. Again, I have nothing to show you, but hey, you can always Google these cards. You can grab a deck of your own, right? You can follow along. Personally, for me, I'm always thrilled to see that card reversed because what it typically indicates, at least most of the time when it's reversed, is an ending to financial difficulties. And I believe this week that the reason that card is coming up reversed, for those of you that were tuning in last week, I feel like the message really drove home on the Five of Pentacles. Shifting our mindset out of a mindset of lack, noticing what we do have. When we do that, we are better able to work with the resources that we do have and the supports that we do have in our life. And I feel like you are doing that. I feel like you are doing that. Now, when we look at the Eight of Cups and the meaning of that card, the Eight of Cups upright is saying that our soul is so ready to move on. We've got both an upright and a reversed meaning. Now, when the card is reversed, it can often deepen that meaning. Kind of like the Nine of Cups is like that too. I'm going to put the phone in a different angle here, see if it'll stay working for us. So I feel like for a lot of you, the fact that we have both the upright and the reversal meaning on our Eight of Cups is saying that, boy, you've been ready for change for so long. You've been ready to move on. And again, we pivot back to that message of the Star card of as above, so below. If you've been doing any or all of these things in terms of, I'm talking about things that will help you to change your life for the better. Therapy, self-education, self-awareness. It always starts with us, right? It always starts with what's truly going on with ourselves. How am I showing up in relationships? How am I showing up in my conversations? How am I showing up at work? How am I showing up with my family, my friends, etc.? You get the picture. If you're doing that, the results are going to show in your life. I feel like some of you have broken from family, not broken like you've broken up, but you've drifted, or maybe there have been breaks. You got to understand, your family may have made you feel like the scapegoat, the black sheep, because they're not ready to do the work. If you think about it, some families are just not ready to look at radical awareness, radical acceptance of a lot of the stuff that's happened. Some people deny, don't they? Some of you have broken from families where you can see this happening, where we don't talk about that. Well, and you're probably over there like, listen, I need to talk about this. And you're actually right in terms of what's mentally healthier, because when we do not talk through emotions, they can get gummed up. But with that being said, there are different ways to talk through your feelings. A good counselor, a loved one, your guides. I feel like that's why at least some of you have gone the psychic path, is that you have people to talk to, because the 3D, the human people, haven't been very good. Speaking of that, we come to the Justice card. Justice. We have a couple meanings to the Justice card today. Divine justice or karmic justice says that sometimes we don't see justice for the wrongs that have happened to us during this life. Everybody's different, but I will put this out there. You may want to consider at some point, maybe sooner for some of you, maybe later for some, you may want to consider getting a past life reading and or regression. Like find someone who does hypnosis, maybe a bit of both. If you like me, I do past life readings. And the reason this comes up is that sometimes when you work with someone who's trained in this, such as myself, and there are other great people as well that can do this, but when you learn, for example, that such and such happened in a previous life, here's a great example. Maybe someone that has given a lot to you. Here's a great example. Maybe someone has given you something, time, help, money, I don't know, assistance, gifts, and you just can't repay them. Maybe you're feeling like there's an imbalance, but then maybe you learn that in a previous life, you did that for them. You helped them when they couldn't give you anything in return. That's one way of how divine justice and karma works. Now that I deliberately chose a positive example, but it does work in terms of maybe people that have wronged you. But it can work in different ways. That person may very well in a future life make it up to you, or at least you'll give them a chance to do something to help you to kind of balance out that karma. The other way too, if you realized you've messed up, maybe sometimes it's years later, we look back and say, God, I didn't do right by that person. You'll have a chance to do better for that person in a future life. And sometimes that's where that past life, future life reading can be helpful, because you might be relieved to learn that there is a life. It could even be a past life where you made it up to them. And I say that because time looks like it's linear from our 3D perspective, moving, so you're there left to right. But when you're dead, when you're out of your body, time. Okay, good. We're reconnected. I don't know. This internet's weird. Speaking of what was just coming up about, maybe not knowing why things have happened, why relationships are broken, why maybe we haven't done right by someone or they haven't done right by us. Speaking of that topic, we also have the Five of Cups. Oops. Five of Cups, second one from the bottom. It probably looks backward to you, but still, I just wanted to hold that up because I channeled those cards. Five of Cups tells us that we shouldn't bury the past. We should give ourselves some time to think about what's happened, but also not to get stuck in negative emotions. So again, that's where if you need help, maybe a trained counselor, a good psychic, supportive people. I find usually it's a combination of those things for most people. Do the work so that you're not stuck in regret. So you're not replaying the same regrets over and over. Spirit wants me to say there's a difference between getting upset over patterns that you can't change, say in your family, for example. Yeah, because you can't change your family of origin. There's a difference between going, this again, when it's a pattern, that's different than replaying the same exact scenario, the same incident in your head over and over. Finally, moving on to the 7 of summer, or we're talking about Earth. A pause for some of you during the summertime. This came up early in the summer. For some of you, a pause in career change and growth and income. But if you're looking for change, growth, increase in income, change, growth, anything, it will happen for you, even if it seems stalled right now. So that's a really good message. I also drew 2 cards because this is the deck that I had with me today. This is the My Daily Mantra deck. Actually, this is by Sarah Beth of Sarah Beth Yoga. And the 2 cards I drew, here's the first one. I am present. And I know it probably appears backward on your end of things, so I'm just going to go ahead and read this to you. You'll hear the word yoga, so take it if you do yoga, but if you're not someone who practices yoga, just replace the word yoga with life, okay? Being present in yoga is a gift you give yourself every day. It's a moment of pure connection where you can let go of yesterday's worries and tomorrow's plans. This presence is a practice you can bring into your daily life too, so there you go. Cherishing each moment as it unfolds. Remember, you are exactly where you need to be. And that goes exactly with that 5 of Cups. We sometimes think about how we wanted things to go a certain way. We couldn't see something coming and we experience regret. There is a bigger plan. Your soul has a life map, a life chart, and that the plan is bigger than just this one life. It goes across sometimes hundreds, if not thousands of lifetimes. So just remember that we are currently zoomed in on a difficult planet, for that matter. We're not on an easy planet. And sometimes all we can do is remind ourselves that there's a bigger plan, and we don't know why things hurt so much right now. We don't know why things are so difficult. We don't really truly know exactly why. Maybe we can't move the needle as fast in our own lives as we want, but that's where we started with that star card, is that you are moving the needle in your life. And by the way, for some of you at least, even if the full results don't show in this life, just the fact that you have a vision and intention for the kind of person you're becoming, for the way you want your life to look, for the impact you want to make on others. Sometimes, if something holds you back, whether that's past mistakes of yours, whether that's other people, for that matter, getting in your fucking way, sometimes you'll be given a future life to complete more of what you didn't get to do in this life. Especially those of you who may want to create impact on planet Earth. Seriously, you might want to say, this is how I'd like to help other people. It may help you to sleep better at night to know that if you literally cannot do all that in this life, Spirit, your higher self, your guides, Earth Chart Council, they're going to give you another life, as many lives as you need to do that. Especially if you feel like you are here to impact others. But keep in mind, we've got Chiron retrograde right now, okay? That's the wounded healer. Don't forget to tend to yourself. Sometimes the most caring people tend to forget yourselves. We tend to forget ourselves. You got to pour into yourself. So that's why we're going to finish with this card, which is I am loved. I am loved. Love is at the heart of your true self. In yoga, you could substitute that word with life, or you can make it both. In yoga and or life, you can develop self-love and compassion on the mat, acknowledging that your body is your sacred home. Remember that you are worthy of love. This came through last week. This was how we ended last week's message, by the way. Can't make this stuff up. Remember that you are worthy of love, both from yourself, let's emphasize from yourself, and from others. Love is a beautiful force that connects us all. So I want to encourage you right now, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, to just take a breath. Place a hand over your heart. And I'm going to channel a message from Archangel Gabriel. Gabriel. Take it as it resonates. You have nothing to prove to anyone. You are love. You are part of the divine. You are perfect and whole exactly as you are. Remember who you are. Remember who you are. And now, affirm, out loud. We're going to say this together, you and I, okay? 3 times. I am loved. I am loved. I am loved. So be it, and so it is. It's an honor to connect with you. I hope this reading resonates. If you're on YouTube and this really did something for you, maybe subscribe, maybe put up a like or a comment. It really helps this video to reach the people that are aligned with this message. Share this with a friend if you have a friend that could benefit from this. I hope you have a beautiful week. Namaste.